He had like 3 brain cells anyway.
Yeah. I think that's why he was indestructible. The last 3 brain cells had lived through so much.
Yes.
They weren't giving up this easy.
No. He lived in a mortal coil of just pure bulletproof vestige. I don't think any of those words actually meant what I wanted them to mean, but they sounded good. They sounded great. Hey everybody, welcome to Fess Up, where the Fess Sisters help spice up your conversations with unique and thought-provoking questions. That's right, we're breaking the ice with a sledgehammer at Christmas time.
Christmas time!
Christmas time! We are breaking the ice at Christmas time!
Isn't that the beginning of, like, a Jungle Book song?
Yes, it is.
We are friends till the bitter and the bitter end.
Yeah, you guys had to, I had to drop out because my voice does not go that low.
I can do it better when I'm warmed up.
So, if you are hearing this voice, it belongs to Amy the Grinch.
If you're hearing this voice, it belongs to Marissa the elf. And if you're hearing this voice, it belongs to Ina the Nutcracker.
All right.
Okay.
And all of us are Fesses. This is our podcast, Fess Up. Holiday edition.
Holiday edition.
Take it away, Marissa the elf.
Okay, so I've been thinking about it, and I realized that the feeling of having something great to say and then forgetting it is exactly the same as when you're about to sneeze and it goes away. It's that same feeling of visceral disappointment, even though you know it wasn't that important. And with a sneeze, you didn't even really want to sneeze, but as soon as it goes, you're so mad. And it's the same feeling, like even if what you were going to say didn't matter that much and you forget it, you have that same feeling of like, ah!
This has been like my whole life. I did actually, as a child, used to get viscerally mad when I would forget something. And honestly, I think that this is exactly this vibe, but just, you know, an adult way now. It just is like, instead of anger, it's just disappointment. Like, brain, you failed me again.
Disappointed!
Yeah, that is kind of like the sneeze of,
Speaking?
Of speaking, yeah. I thought that this would go somewhere.
I thought so too. I mean, it's such an apropos example. You see, we just simply forgot what to say about it. And I was gonna sneeze.
Well, let's not bog us down too much with what we've forgotten and instead go to our first question. I'm going to actually sneeze. I feel like I have to blow my nose now.
An interruption of a trumpet nose blow. God,
Look at that
I hate
waveform.
that so much. It's so loud. Just join a band already, and I don't mean like a band like a fun kind. I mean like a symphonic orchestra type band.
But you know what feels so good right now? My nose. So clean, so empty.
Like your head.
Ooh. My head is not clean.
Well, it's empty.
All right. It's time for our first question. The backstory for this question is you two had just watched The Santa Claus. Apparently, the guy who plays Tim Allen's boss is also Father Time in subsequent films. Does he have a Santa Claus experience, but with Father Time? Did he murder Father Time?
Yes. Absolutely, absolutely. And I've been thinking about it so much since I saw this. Because in the first film, he has the same problem as Scott Calvin, right? He's a curmudgeon, he's mean, and he needs to learn a thing or two. I mean, and specifically time-related, he's like a businessman and he wants things to go, go, go. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how he kills Father Time, because I don't know how Father Time kind of bops around in day-to-day life.
Yeah.
But he definitely does kill Father Time. Mm-hmm. What does he take? Father Time's, like, staff? Yeah. Like a Gandalf staff? He grabs the staff. Okay, I have an idea. He and Father Time just happened to be in the same shopping mall at the top of a set of stairs. They both trip and fall. He grabs the staff to steady himself. Father Time dies. And at the same time, he becomes Father Time.
I have this sneaking suspicion that what you are describing is a holiday PG Final Destination movie in which Father Time is coming to kill this old man. He's like, hey, what's up? It's your time to go. And then this dude's like, no, grabs the staff somehow and then kills Father Time with it, and then he becomes Father Time.
Yes! That's exactly it. That's exactly what happened. It was his time. He said no way and reversed it. He played a Uno reverse card and it was Father Time's time to die. So this implies there was that subsequent whole year of denial probably as he slowly transitions into Father Time. And that was probably the weirdest year of everyone's life. It probably happened about the same time as the Santa Claus, right? Because one of the biggest questions of that movie is it's summertime. Why are the children sitting on Santa's lap? And why is it all of a sudden it's Thanksgiving, but it wasn't a second ago? And all these weird little inconsistencies or just confusing, not well-established time settings. It's because there was no Father Time taking charge.
That is a really good point, actually. It does fix that major plot hole from when I watched the first Santa Claus movie again. Because I was just sitting here but we just had Christmas, and I know that it ends with Christmas, so this can't be happening at Christmas also. Why are these children coming up and sitting on this strange man's lap and asking Santa for presents if it's supposed to be July?
Exactly. Because I was a kid once, and let me tell you, they're not that Santa obsessed.
No, I don't think about Santa until the couple of months before Christmas, when I know Santa's gotta start thinking about what to get me. Also, maybe because he's new at being Father Time, he's just confused at it. And so he's not exactly doing it correctly and still learning.
He didn't have elves to help him. Father Time ain't got no assistance. He had to figure it out himself. Also, the elves weren't very helpful anyway. They were just kind of come on, dude, figure it out. So anyway, I think he had extra hard time figuring everything out, but I think afterwards, after his whole transformation, after his successful Father Time supplanting, I think he must have had a very special bond with Santa as legendary figures. They understand each other in a way no one else ever can. They knew each other before their lives were changed for the better, and they found their true calling.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But does this mean that all legendary figures can be killed and replaced? So does that mean that they have all had this experience? I want to see Cupid's story. You know, that man, I'm just a man, a normal man, and then I accidentally killed Cupid, and now I've turned into a tiny diaper baby man.
I think it's possible that you don't have to kill them, you just have to be around their corpse. So if they died somehow that was completely unrelated to you, but you happen to pick up whatever their magical item is, then that's you.
Yeah, I do, because technically it was manslaughter and not homicide what happened in the Santa Claus. He wasn't out here forcibly pushing Santa off a roof, but I think that, you can just stumble upon, and as long as you pick up the weapon in question, or maybe for, the Tooth Fairy, his wings or something, their, unique item or artifact or whatever, if you come in contact with that, and you're not them, and they are not able to wrestle it back from you, then you become what they just were.
Now, see, my most important question here is, was the Easter Bunny a bunny or a man originally?
Sadly, a man. I would
not.
A
man that turned into a bunny?
Yes. I refuse to believe anything else. We know what happened to poor Scott Kelvin. It was that times 20 for the poor bunny man.
I think it's probably better that way, because if a cute little bunny went and turned into that disgusting amalgamation of a bunny and a man, that's just too evil, and that's a horror film akin to Tusk. So... Tusk! So I refuse to believe that that's it in this PG world.
Yes. I think it may be time for a bit.
A bit?
A bit.
A bit.
A bit.
This bit is called... the Ol Switcheroo! In this one, we take the plot of a movie and put a cast of different characters into it, reenact different scenes, say what characters would play what roles, and overall just laugh about how hilarious the Switch would be. The Ol Switcheroo this time is going to be the plot of The Princess Bride with the cast of Elf.
Okay, so to me, the most interesting thing is, like, the leading role, Wesley, aka the best character, is now going to be Buddy the Elf.
I, wish that we could put Buddy the Elf somewhere not Wesley. I just wish someone more suave could be Wesley.
We can do whatever we want.
I mean, because obviously Jovi has to be Buttercup.
Jovi is Buttercup. She's just as cynical and epic as the first one.
Yes, yeah, she is Buttercup. But I feel like Buddy the Elf, he would be like an Inigo Montoya, out here trying to find his dad.
Absolutely! My name is Buddy the Elf and you're my dad?
My name is Buddy the Elf and I traveled through the gumdrop forest and you are my father and I need to find you because Papa Elf told me you would be here and you're on the naughty list.
Yes. Oh my gosh, instead of his father being killed by the Six-Fingered Man, his father is the Six-Fingered Killer Man and he wants to come and get him back on the nice list.
Yes. So the Six-Fingered Man would be, what's his name? William Hobbs? His name better be William Hobbs.
I believe it is.
I'm gonna look it up.
He would have the best reaction to that too. You know how he's like, stop saying that! But he would really be like, stop saying that!
You know who's suave enough to be Wesley? Peter Dinklage's character! Miles!
Miles
Finch!
Miles Finch is honestly, upon rewatch, the best character in that film. He's the coolest, handsomest, most epic guy, and honestly, he handled that situation very maturely until he finally snapped it. But he gave a lot of warnings first.
Yes, he ass whooped him. I mean,
Oh, he did.
And Wesley needs that ass whooping power.
I think that the thing too is that Miles Finch is like Wesley living in the Dread Pirate Roberts persona. He's like, hi, I am the big shot, the best, the bad guy TM, and you're pushing me too far, so you're gonna get it. But, genuinely, he's not that bad a guy until you absolutely push him to the brink.
Definitely, yes. Okay, who's another crucial character we gotta get out here?
We need a Fezzig.
I was gonna say that Fezzig and, what's his name? The Sicilian, would be the mom and the son, but I'm, questioning that now. Is Michael's his name, right?
Michael.
I was gonna say that the son is a good Fezzig because he and Buddy are kind of inseparable for most of that movie.
That's true. He would just have to be kind of gianted up.
Yeah.
But, okay.
Because also, the son just wants to have fun with Buddy. And honestly, Fezzig doesn't really have a goal in this whole thing. He's just kind of here to be the muscle and here to have fun. He's like, hi, I have to kill you. But we're gonna be fun about it. And we're gonna, talk a little bit first. I'm gonna make some rhyme. He's not out here, bloodthirsty, horrible.
Agreed. But Vizzini's definitely not the mom. The mom is crazy nice.
She is crazy nice.
I just thought of a character that we overlooked that I think would be a better Fezzig than Michael. The mailroom guy.
Oh no, he's perfect!
He's got the same amount of brain cells. And he's nice. And he's only 27 or whatever when he looks
Walter Hobbs is the dad's name. Walter Hobbs. William Hobbs is actually Buddy's real name.
Really?
Yes.
You're right, the mailroom guy, he's got, the deep voice and looking older than his age. I know that the actor actually is older, but, the character is only in his 20s and he looks like he's in his 40s. So he has some kind of, relation in the kind of giant or, age-related juxtapositions there. He is super nice, but at first, when you first meet him, he seemed super tough and scary. Once you get to know him, he's super nice and definitely an airhead. So I think he checks all of those boxes.
He does, but I was liking the son.
I know.
Because the son doesn't fit anywhere else. I was gonna put, Papa Elf as, Humperdinck.
I mean, I like that idea. Papa Elf is Humperdinck. He definitely has that crankiness in him, the cantankerousness. that would give a Humperdinck edge.
Papa Elf's not that cranky.
I'm actually thinking that the best Vizzini would be Santa. These are my thoughts. Because the Santa in the movie, until he knows who Buddy is in that, like, climax, he's really scary and mean. So he's definitely got, like, a serious mean streak to him that is not usually characteristic of Santa. And I think that would work with Vizzini really well, plus he's magic. So he definitely at least thinks he's the smartest person in the room at all times.
Definitely.
So that would lend well to Vizzini.
That's true.
I like it. I think it works. I don't think there's anyone in Elf quite a Vizzini, but I think it's the closest we're gonna get.
That's so true. Vizzini's just, like, so particular and, like, such a great character, and I don't feel like there's the perfect fit for him.
I mean, I will say that Santa doesn't really solve his own problems at all in the movie, which is kind of Vizzini.
Yeah, that's so true. He kind of has the manpower for that reason. The sleigh goes down and he's like, buddy, I need you to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a strong agree. I think I figured out a person that the mother could be Mowich. Brings us all together. She's definitely the, like, slightly airheaded, but, like, super nice character that would be really good for that.
Yeah, that's true. That fits her really well.
I feel like we have most of the big boys pinned
Wait,
down.
but then who would Humperdinck be again?
Papa Elf?
Yeah, Papa Elf makes the most sense because he is grumpy, he's a cantankerous old man.
I don't see him as cantankerous. I just really disagree with that. I just think that he doesn't smile a lot. But he's like a nice guy.
He is a nice guy, and he loves his family a lot. He definitely seems like the kind of guy that doesn't back down from a challenge, like raising Buddy, for example. So he definitely isn't going to back down from pursuing Buttercup.
Fair.
I think it's not even that he's cantankerous. I think there's just this mysterious edge to him that is never fully explored in his personality, and I think you can bring to that whatever you want. So as Humperdinck, I think that could be, maybe it's a violent edge. I don't know. I have another good idea is Miles Finch, when he can't move, when he's paralyzed, and he's kind of threatening a Humperdinck there. I feel like he would be like, call me weak one more time.
Oh, yes.
Call me weak, see what happens. And then, Papa Elf would, because he's also an elf, I feel like he might also have some of the strange quirks as Buddy, so he might take that literally, be like, you're weak.
Yeah.
And then Miles would somehow muster up the strength to fling himself from the bed at him.
Well, it would have been like, in the actual movie, he does, like, while he's sitting there, he's, like, biding time for his strength to return, so by the time he needs it, he does have it. So I think that he would have known, I could launch myself at him if he calls me weak one more time.
Absolutely.
There is Buddy the Elf fighting Miles Finch. Sword fights? Question mark? I don't know how we would do that. Maybe it would be like a battle of stories, where he'd be like talking about his actual journey through the Gumdrop Forest or whatever that does become a famous book and is a really good story. And Miles Finch is like talking about all his other stories, and because Miles Finch is a writer, he will win that battle.
Yes, the storytellers. But I feel like they also, like, maybe they pick up an oversized candy cane or something as to, like, maybe sword fight, but Buddy's mainly just, like, backing up and being like, I'll hit you with this. I battled my way through the Gumdrop Forest. But I also think that there might be a moment where he would be, like, oh, he's a grumpy elf. And that would get Miles to maybe knock him out.
Yeah.
Like he needs to. So that, I think that would go well.
Miles Finch is just like the Hulk-lite. Like, everything he needs done, he just has to be triggered by a phrase to bring out his full anger.
Yes, like a mixture of the Hulk and Marty McFly from the sequel.
Yeah.
Alright, but what about when Buttercup is in the water, and, with the eels, there's just Jovi in the water, and it's Mr. Narwhal. So she's panicking. She's like, oh my gosh, because she's never seen, like, the magical animals. And then at the last second, how it's all dramatic in the film, and it seems like the eel's about to get her. Instead of being pulled out of the water at that exact moment,
it's just Mr. Narwhal's smiling face pops out and he's like, "Hi, lady. Did you fall out of your boat?"
I also think that at the end of the movie, after being gone for a significant portion of time, just like the mailroom guy comes around with maybe just like a couple wheelie carts, and he's like, "Hey guys, I found a way for us to go home. Yeah, I found these in the mailroom."
Yes!
Oh,
Wait, that's so funny! Like, the castle had a mailroom. He just went and checked.
Yeah.
Don't mess with a Santa when Christmas is on the line.
Oh, perfect.
And then it's like, which one is the poisoned eggnog?
Right.
Oh, that poisoned eggnog. And then Miles Finch is like, so many people in my life tried to poison me with eggnog that I just kind of became immune to all poison, so they stopped doing it because I think elves like eggnog, and I keep telling them I'm not an elf.
All with their, spiked eggnog.
Actually, wait a minute. What if lactose-free eggnog or whatever is poison to an actual elf? So Santa's out here like, one of these is poison because it's lactose-free. Which one is it? He. And then Miles Finch is just like, I only drink lactose-free. And he just chugs it, and Santa's like not expecting that.
But Santa is also allergic to no
Santa is
lactose.
somehow also an elf.
Santa's definitely a cross between an elf and a human. I mean, this is a side point, but he might be a hybrid.
Yeah, probably.
This is perfect. I like it.
This is great. What would the name be?
The Princess Elf?
The Elf Bride.
No, it can't be the elf bride because she's not an elf.
No, but he's an quote-unquote elf. So, the, in quotes, elf's bride. No, that's all very creepy.
It is a little creepy.
But also Humperdinck would be an elf, so it's possible. Elf's bride.
Yeah, because the only reason the Princess Bride is called the Princess Bride, she's not actually a princess. It's because she's gonna be a princess.
Yes.
So
I just thought that we could come up with a pun.
I know.
I'm trying to think of a pun before we just replace a word.
I have no good ideas. My brain is just Dread Pirate Finch. And that's the movie's title.
I honestly don't hate Dread Pirate Finch.
Watch out for
Dread Elf Finch.
Dread Elf Finch. Oh my gosh, wait, that's perfect too, because he takes on persona of Dread Elf Finch, which has been passed on, right?
Yes.
So former Elf Finches were really elves, but he's not. He just appears like one, So people think he is Dread Elf Finch. So that's why they're all doing the elf poison and all this stuff. And he's plot twist, I'm not an elf.
Yes, wait, this is great. I love it. I think that's it. We hit it on the head.
Dread Elf Finch.
Dread Elf Finch. Dread Elf Finch.
Amazing.
Heck yeah. Dread Elf Finch coming to theaters next Christmas. This is where our ads would go if we had any, so instead we'll just talk about how Dread Elf Finch is going to be fully funded by us. Obviously, we're that rich.
It'll have a low production budget, but it'll really wow you.
So, this next question comes from a tweet at @ITrevorMoore. He is the person who tweeted this, and I just found it on Twitter, and knew we needed to talk about it. The tweet says, "Remember, Kevin McCallister could have phoned the police at any time. He was a child who had accidentally been left alone. One call and he would have been safe, but it was never about safety. He was hunting those men. He wanted them to die. It was fun for him. He enjoyed it." And so my question is, did Kevin McCallister have a lust for blood?
1 gazillion% he did. I mean, absolutely. He honestly, smiled a little bit when it started getting to be time. He was, basically rubbing his hands together and maniacally laughing. That was the vibes he was giving out.
I just want everyone to know what I've realized.
Yeah.
Thinking about this question. Home Alone is another PG Saw movie. It's just holiday themed.
Yes, it is.
Literally. I've watched a lot of reaction videos of doctors watching Home Alone and talking about the injuries, and pretty much from the first couple injuries, they're this person would be dead.
What?
So,
like, which one is the first?
I mean, even down to slipping down the ice stairs, you could fall on your neck and die right there.
Well, that's true.
So, like, everything had a potentially deadly component to it, at least.
Right. I do think the nail in the foot is, like, instant tetanus. Like, there's no way that nail was, like, chill.
It was also covered in, like, turpentine or something, and that can't be good to get internally either.
No.
Right, but, like, even if each thing individually might not have killed them, all the things together, they would have been toast.
There's no way that paint bucket to the face wouldn't have been instant death.
I don't know if it would have been instant death, but absolutely that man has a concussion and, like, a football-level brain injury.
Also, the iron dropping basically 2 floors onto his face. Hot.
I don't know if this is the first movie or the second movie, but one man does get electrocuted, and that would have been death for sure. You can see his fucking bones. That man was dead.
That same man, Marv, also got hit in the face with, I think, 4 or 5 bricks from, I think, 4 stories. And they were, like, chucked at his face. He would have been dead before he got in that building.
Yeah, that man is, he took a lot. Though, to be fair, he had, like, 3 brain cells anyway.
Yeah. I think that's why he was indestructible. The last 3 brain cells had lived through so much.
Yes.
They weren't giving up this easy.
No. He lived in a mortal coil of just pure bulletproof vestige. I don't think any of those words actually meant what I wanted them to mean, but they sounded good. They sounded great. Everything left of him is made to withstand everything.
What of those child saw traps brought you the most glee as a kid, though? Like, which thing were you most sadistically happy about as a kid?
I definitely always loved the paint can. You can't not love the paint can. Honestly, the use of the filthy animal brings me glee. I know that's to, like, the pizza man, but when he's out here, like, making the firecrackers pop off, like he's actually shooting this dude just to get him to leave him free fucking pizza, I always was tickled by that.
I think I really enjoyed all of the things that involved fire. Particularly in the second movie when Harry's head caught on fire, and in order to put it out, he had to put his head in the toilet, which was filled with, I think, like, gasoline, so it just blew up again. I loved that.
I also liked when he got the feathers put on him. That was quite good. He became a chicken.
I always loved all the goopy stuff that got all over Marv all the time. Just covered in goop.
I also have to say, for some reason, I don't think this really had anything to do with much of the traps, but I think it's the second movie with that big tube that's like through the whole house. That brought me so much joy. Just like, who has this large tube that you can use essentially as a slide through their entire house? I love this idea.
Honestly, even as an adult, I'm not sure quite what that did. Like, I know it had something to do with their full house renovation, but what? Was it like an air vent that did something? What does it do?
It really didn't make much sense at all. And also that house was truly, like, they said renovation. That thing was a skeleton of a house. It was being either built or destroyed.
That thing was down to the studs. They were like, we're just keeping the brick face on the outside. The inside, we're scooping out and putting something else in.
Yeah. But yeah, Kevin McCallister had a lust for blood, and he was a sociopath, probably grew up to be a serial killer, and had good practice. Honestly, Kevin McCallister grows up to be John Kramer. It's fine. Change my mind, you can't.
I just want to say that Ina and I went on a terrible misadventure this Christmas and watched all, what was it, 7? Or 6. We watched all 6 Home Alone movies. Did you know there were 6? We didn't. We watched them all. They were bad, a lot of them. Weirdly, number 5 was pretty good. Number 5, shockingly good. Number 3 was alright. Number 4 killed me dead. It was so horrible. Nothing's ever been worse than that. But in the 6th one, it's very recent, and they mentioned that Kevin McCallister is like the CEO of a home security company. Mm-hmm. And so I feel like those are the 2 potential Kevin futures. Is 1, he becomes John Kramer, and 2, He becomes a trillionaire on his security and shit.
I mean, to be completely fair, John Kramer does have a fair bit of money, but also do they really get into what he does for a living? He does have a love for engineering, but so does Kevin McCallister as a child. So perhaps both are true. Kevin McCallister becomes John Kramer, he runs a home security company, makes a lot of money, buys himself a warehouse, and in his free time, while he's getting diagnosed with cancer, starts killing peeps in his Gideon meat plant, yes.
Kevin McCallister is the Jigsaw Batman. He is the Bruce Wayne CEO, Kevin McCallister, of like a mega corporation on home security. That is how he funds his Batman level of exorbitant jigsaw traps.
His vigilante death campaign.
Exactly.
To change people's lives around for the better.
Yes.
Or kill them. Whatever they decide.
He likes both options. He likes to say, I didn't kill them, they killed themselves.
Yeah.
He likes having that loophole in there because it just brings him an added layer of sadistic glee.
Yes.
He was like, they did it to themselves.
I mean, that was exactly what he liked in the original movie too, so.
Yeah, he would always be like, you can give up. And they were like, I'm not giving up. And then they would fucking get blown up in the toilet.
Here's the worst part about the Home Alone movies. How did he clean that shit up before Mom came home? Boy had to put himself through some shit.
That boy knew the truest fear in life. Not robbers.
No.
But the fear of the garage door opening and you didn't clean their bedroom yet. Like, he was the master.
Yes.
He was the master of cleaning everything up before he got caught.
It's just like, because he was throwing turpentine and gasoline, and he had fucking explosions and shit going on, and he had to clean all of that up before his parents got... I mean, I think that they did arrest the robbers from his house eventually or something, so there's like a slight alibi, but like, he can't let his mom know the sick shit he was doing to those robbers. He has to make it seem like he was the victim in all this.
That was like Olympic level speed cleaning.
Yeah.
That this child was performing.
Because they had a massive house. That was like 5 stories, that shit.
And the worst part is that he didn't even get caught in his own house. He cleaned up the whole mansion except for Buzz's room, which he forgot about.
Oh, yeah.
Because he brought the robbers to the neighbor's house where they got caught.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, so Boy had to do the cleaning.
Boy did the cleaning.
Except for Buzz, but no one wants to go in Buzz's room.
He deliberately left Buzz's room like that, out of spite.
This because he had to teach Buzz a lesson now.
The other great thing that happened in the last Home Alone movie was they showed Buzz, and he was just like a lowly beat cop patrolling neighborhoods. And he said that every year, Kevin prank calls the station and says that he was left home alone for Christmas.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah, you cannot tell me that Kevin is not also John Kramer. This is just too perfect.
Absolutely.
Oh my god.
Absolutely.
Guess what, guys?
What?
It's time for... What 2 are you? Ooh. This one is, what 2 Christmas movies are you?
That is so crazy, because I watched about 87 and a half Christmas films this year, so...
You should be prepared.
I have a broad catalog to choose from. Oh god, it's so hard to pick. I gotta say, number 1, right off the top, Amy is the Grinch.
That's gotta be.
The Grinch Who Stole Christmas.
Honestly, just from like the title alone, if you take it out of context and apply it to me, with the amount that I am just like obsessed with winning Christmas, that like I stole that shit right from Santa. Santa can fuck right off.
The Grinch Who Stole Christmas.
I stole Christmas by being the best at it.
I mean, the first thing about it is like she makes the same facial expressions and like crazy jokes as the Grinch does in that film, but also if you combine that with like the joy and whimsy of Whoville and all of that, you really combine that all together, you get Amy as a person. So,
definitely. Yeah, I knew that was coming.
I can't watch that movie without just thinking of Amy every time the Grinch makes any face whatsoever. So, yeah.
Alright.
Marissa's The Christmas Chronicles.
Oh, I haven't seen that one, so you gotta take that away.
Sexy.
Alright, that's debatable, but I'll take it.
Sexy Kurt Russell has real Marissa vibes. first super loves the siblings, but also sometimes hates them. That's like the whole, I mean, it's a normal sibling relationship, but they become super close at the end and stuff. Just the way that the Santa in the movie, he was in control of the situation the whole time. Like, he just let things happen because it was funny and stuff. Like, Marissa will, like, guide your conversation and stuff in whatever direction she wants. She can do some pranks. I'm doing a terrible explanation.
I can chime in a little bit.
Yeah, chime in, because I'm useless here.
I do know this movie. So Kurt Russell also sings like an angel in that film.
Ooh.
So there's that music aspect. He does have that sexiness, which I don't know that I would attribute to myself, but, like, thank you.
You got a sexy.
All right. I have a singular sexy. I have it. But I think there's a real pettiness to Kurt Russell's character, his Santa, because he is teaching everyone a lesson in a roundabout way, but he's, like, really giving them a hard time. In the meantime, he's really laying it on thick with, like, you did all this, and you have to fix all of it, and I can't do anything. And then at the end, you find out that he literally just made you do all that, and he could have fixed it in, like, the snap of a finger.
So you mean the Wizard of Oz syndrome?
Yeah, Wizard of Oz syndrome, straight up. And I feel like that level of pettiness, but, like, to teach you a lesson, that fits my vibes.
Nice, with just a little naughty.
Yes, wait, that's a quote from the movie. Santa, were you just a little bit naughty this year? In a nice way.
That's it. That's Marissa.
Beautiful. So, like, because of how much I feel like Ina is Jigsaw, my heart does want to say that Ina's Home Alone, but I feel like nobody would forget Ina because Ina's our parents' favorite. If anyone's getting forgotten, it's me.
Yeah, but they forgot you on purpose.
Yeah, probably.
I have one that I don't think Amy's seen either, but it's very Rena, and I have to say it, okay? So her first one, The Princess Switch.
The Princess Switch!
Oh, I heard about this one.
This is Rena. Double starring Vanessa Hudgens as two characters.
Oh, is it a Princess and the Pauper vibe?
It is a Princess and the Pauper Christmas edition.
Wow.
And it's cheesy, hallmarky goodness, which Ina loves.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, the whole thing, even though you're like, this is totally ridiculous and doesn't make sense, you're also just like, squee! From like how cute and adorable all the relationships are, and you just get a warm, fuzzy feeling at every moment, even when you're like, this is stupid, I love it. And it's always very Ina. Plus, straight up, she can't go a Christmas without watching it. So.
Also, I love switching kinds of movies, like body switching, place switching of any kind. And I did in 3rd grade write a musical based on Barbie Princess and the Pauper. So
she did. And I still remember a lot about that.
Yes.
Back to Amy. Have you brewed one up in that brain of yours, Zena?
I got one for you.
Alright.
Okay. I don't know if Amy's seen this one either.
Oh, Jesus.
Noelle is Marissa.
I've seen this one. I knew you were going to say that.
Noelle is Marissa on many different fronts. Okay, one, Bill Hader's in it, and anytime I see Bill Hader, I think of Marissa. Just because she loves him so much.
He's great.
He does have Marissa vibes and Marissa energy and Marissa humor.
Yeah.
So, this movie, girl power, Marissa has the girl power. Marissa is super talented without even trying. She's just got it. And stuff, on, every front. And that's Noelle's character.
Uh-huh.
She is Santa. And so that's Marissa. But then Marissa also has, in order to not be the perfect human, Marissa also has Noelle's brother, Bill Hader's character, in which all he wants to do is relax and just not do the things that he's good at. Because it's so overwhelming to him, overwhelming how awesome he is, anyway, he doesn't have the twinkle, but his sister has the twinkle, and Marissa has the twinkle, but she doesn't think she does.
Alright. Heck yeah.
That movie is basically the female version of Elf, and I live for it.
Yes.
Okay, now let's see if I can find... My bank is so much smaller than everyone else's bank.
I have an idea for Amy, but she's not gonna like it.
Oh shit, what are you saying?
She doesn't remember it too good, but it actually is my favorite Christmas movie. I know it's a bad movie. You don't have to come in here and tell me it's a bad movie. I know it. It's my favorite Christmas movie. It's called I'll Be Home for Christmas, starring Jonathan Taylor Thomas. And it is completely Amy, mostly through the main character, who is this sassy little asshole, full of charisma, manipulates people into doing whatever he wants, but like, at the core of him, he's this nice guy, but he knows how to play the world into doing what he wants to get out of it. And the whole movie, he goes on this journey and kind of figures himself out and figures out how to use those, like, powers of manipulation for good.
He gets glued into a Santa suit.
Yeah, the main plot is he pissed off a bunch of jocks and they glued him into a Santa suit and left him out in a desert to die.
Yeah.
And somehow he doesn't die. And that's pretty boss of him, honestly. You easily could have died in that scenario.
Oh, yeah.
But he knows how to be romantic. He knows how to be a good friend. And he also, like, at this one point in the film, he earns the money he needs to go home, but then he finds out this money was supposed to go to charity, and he donates it to that charity instead. So these are the two sides of Amy, the cheekiness, wanting what she wants, and then the selflessness and, like, kindness. So it's Amy.
And the fucking martyrdom, where it's like, okay, fine, you need this more than I do, so I will just be sad.
Yes. But also, the whole movie is just hysterical, and it's very Amy vibes, even if she doesn't remember it well.
I mean, I remember it enough to know that you're right. Oh, no, you have to do Ina. I'm trying to, like, consider ones that we...
Haven't talked about already?
Well, that, but also, like, ones from, like, a long time ago.
I have an idea.
Okay.
The claymation Rudolph the Red-Nosed
I was just thinking
movie.
that, because you know what? I always think of her when I think of Bumble's Bounce.
Bumble's Bounce. Yes. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. The adorable claymation film we all grew up on. I feel like even the kids of this day and age are growing up on it. It's, like, timeless. People are always going to show that movie.
I didn't want to admit it as a kid, but Yukon Cornelius, he's the playboy of a generation. Truly, he is the stud of that movie.
Yes.
And I never wanted to admit it because Silver and Gold as a song did annoy the shit out of me. But Yukon Cornelius can get it. But Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, once again, it's kind of got different sides to Ina. It's got the Rudolph, who is underestimated until they realize, oh shit, we've been kicking the one that we need the most on this most important night. And also it's got the Land of Misfit Toys, which is just like a bunch of like little quirky gems who all live together, and then they end up finding their use outside of this island of misfit toys. And it's got the Bumble Who Bounces, which I always think of Ina. I don't know why.
The elf who wants to be a dentist. Oh, yes. And he's also, like, I know they pretend he isn't, but he's, like, high-key gay vibes.
Oh, so gay.
And it's just a very Karina vibe.
Yeah.
And then also, she's got the whole Clarice, this adorable, she's the pretty one in town, she's got the fashionable bow.
Yes.
And the cute singing voice, So they're all the sides.
Also, Karina Santa would be scrawny.
Yes. Yes.
And that Santa's a toothpick. I don't know why they designed him like that.
I think that was a joke they made in the movie, too.
Oh, I think they did. Like, Mrs. Claus was like, I gotta fatten you up.
Gotta fatten the Santa. Yeah, absolutely. There we go.
Heck yeah. So, in conclusion, Amy is the Grinch and I'll Be Home for Christmas. Marissa is the Christmas Chronicles and Noelle. And Ina is the Princess Switch and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Woo! I feel like my really overdoing it on Christmas movies this year has paid off.
It has, really. I'm glad that we asked this question after this year. How about another question?
All right.
What is a Christmas movie idea that has not been done yet?
Toy Story.
Christmas. They haven't done that as even a short?
Well, maybe they have, but I mean, like, Christmas movie, but from the perspective of the toy.
What you're thinking, Christmas movie from the perspective of the elf on the shelf.
Oh! Elf on the Shelf horror movie. I've always thought that thing was creepy and rude.
Yes!
I don't like the Elf on the Shelf.
Yeah, I mean, that is a very rude idea. Another thing I just want to talk about, I think could make a great movie, is I recently learned about this tradition in some European countries of instead of Santa bringing you your presents, there's this log that you put under your tree and you hit it with a stick and tell it to poop and then it poops out presents. They need to make a movie of that. It's literally called like the poop log.
Wow. I am obsessed with this.
I do think that Ina is right in the horror movie Christmas vibe. I do think that there is a lack of Christmas horror movies. And, I mean, Krampus is such a rich vein to tap into. But also, I think that they don't utilize jail enough in Christmas.
What do you mean? Santa gets arrested in, like, every film.
Yeah, but, like, I'm not talking about Santa. I'm really not thinking about Santa being in jail.
Okay.
I'm just thinking about, like, something to do with, if we're thinking horror, maybe a murderer escapes jail on Christmas, and then all of a sudden people are unwrapping heads under their Christmas tree. I don't know. Or, like, it could just be maybe a kind of wholesome movie about a bunch of prisoners putting aside their differences and coming together because it's Christmas, and then they give each other little shivs in their stockings or something, and it's cute. I don't know.
Or maybe they do something nice, like, a lot of jails have recreation. Maybe they get to make crafts and like, I made you a hand turkey out of paper. And like, oh, well, I got the book from the library. You read it for Christmas.
Yeah, I think you could make a wholesome jail movie as well.
Statistically, a lot of the people in jail have to be wholesome humans, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying a majority, but like, there's millions of people in jail. You know there's a bunch of wholesome peeps just waiting to shine.
Aw. But yeah, I'm trying to think of other ones. I mean, do we really have a lot of Christmas movies set in, like, warm climates? Like, okay, take a new twist on a Hallmark movie. Maybe girl goes to Australia for Christmas, and she has to deal with the fact that it is fully the heat of summer, and that's just how it always is in Australia for Christmas, and it's weird as hell for her.
And all the scary animals.
Yeah, well, yes, the scary animal. And then it's a horror movie again. So we want to make a horror movie for Christmas is what we're getting here.
I mean, like, that is, like, a genre, but it's so small, and I want it to get bigger.
I just think there's enough people out there who like horror stuff and would like to see it a little bit more at different points of the year. Like, I think there's enough people who don't like the happy, wholesome movies. They're the people who, like, will say Die Hard's their favorite Christmas movie, where Die Hard is barely... I just watched Die Hard for the first time this year, and it is barely got Christmas in it, really. It's kind of set at Christmas, but the amount that it is referenced is minimal.
Agree to disagree, but
Yes.
okay.
You can't deny that the amount Christmas is referenced in Die Hard is minimal.
I found it to be way more than I expected. Like, I was expecting it to not be a Christmas movie, you know, at all. But the amount that they talked about it and, like, straight up writing ho 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 on someone in blood and stuff like that.
They did do that.
And, like, they had some Christmas music going at times. And the other thing I found from watching too many Christmas movies this year is most of them aren't really about Christmas.
Yeah,
They just happen during it. So in that respect, Die Hard is definitely a Christmas movie.
It's just, Die Hard's one of those divisive things that makes me crazy because you are right, there are lots of movies out there that are just set at Christmas time. But there are so many of those movies people don't count as Christmas movies. So why are we counting Die Hard as a Christmas movie? And, like, what's that romantic one everyone always watches? Love Actually?
Ugh.
I've never watched it, but, everyone calls that a Christmas movie. I think it's just set at Christmas again. I don't think it's a Christmas movie. Like, I would like more Christmas movies.
About Love Actually, I would be remiss if I didn't mention how the most romanticized moment in that film is like, hi, your husband is behind you, cheat on him with me, and everyone swoons. I'm like, that's disgusting. Okay, anyway.
All right.
I'm sick of seeing it romanticized.
Is that the Andrew Lincoln moment?
Yeah, with the signs that everyone remembers. He's literally like, hi, I can't speak out loud because you're taken and I'm trying to steal you right now on Christmas.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know nothing about that movie. But yeah, it's like those movies, they're like set at Christmas, so people watch them at Christmas, but there are so many movies that are set at Christmas that people don't consider Christmas movies. And so I'm just like, what makes Die Hard the one? Like, just because they shoehorn in, like, honestly, the Christmas songs in that movie feel shoehorned in. I'm sorry if you like it as a Christmas movie, but I just was sitting here feeling like they're just playing a fucking Christmas song while policemen show up. It didn't feel like...
I will grant you that.
Yeah.
I'd say it definitely is a Christmas movie, but it's not fitting to the whole film. What I'm saying is make an action film a Christmas movie and like double down on it. That's what I want. Like a real Christmas action movie.
Okay, I got it. Take a Home Alone situation. Dial it up to make it closer to Die Hard. Maybe you add Santa in there somehow to like really make it be Christmas. Like Santa is a character. I had a light bulb moment. Here we go. Santa is out for the night. He is gone. It is December 24th, midnight. He is delivering presents, won't be back till probably the 26th because of how time zones work and shit. So the elves are there battening down the hatches. They're celebrating, they're whatever. And then someone comes in trying to heist the North Pole because I know Christmas will be gone. Some real bad people trying to make a lot of money in the toy game or whatever it is. Maybe they think they're gonna find a lot of PS5s.
Maybe they're stealing the elves. Like, you're gonna work for me in my factory.
Slave labor!
Literally. Like, it could be real dark like that.
It could be dark
Jeff
like
Bezos would do that if he could.
Oh, Jeff Bezos is the bad guy!
We'll call him Beth Jesus, and then
Yes.
then we don't have any issues.
Yeah,
And then the credits will say all likeness to real people is coincidental.
Coincidence. But yeah, so then I'm thinking these elves have to all band together and try to Home Alone the shit out of these people with what they have in their warehouse because they got the home field advantage. So they're out here, smacking them with fucking candy canes off the wall and like dropping them down the Build-A-Bear elevator shaft and just killing these dudes one by one, trying to save themselves from slavery. And Santa comes back and he's like, what happened while I was gone? And then one elf bravely says, oh, we just had a crazy party. Santa got out of hand. And that's it. That's the movie.
Wait, but please, can we make Mrs. Claus the biggest badass, most integral main character of this film, like defending the homeland?
She is defending her children.
Yes.
Are the elves Santa and Mrs. Claus's kids?
I think they're like adopted children. Like, I feel like Mrs. Claus either can't have children or thinks it's irresponsible to have even more mouths to feed, so she doesn't. But the elves, I think, always have a sort of childlike innocence, so she's just adopted all of them.
At the very least, Santa and Mrs. Claus are like parental figures in their lives.
Yeah.
Even if they're not like adoptive, they fill that void.
Yes.
They're kind of responsible for them, even if all the elves are adults.
I think that is the ultimate Christmas movie. You make it action, you make it blatantly Christmas and not shoehorned Christmas, and you give them what the people are wanting, and you make it a little gory, maybe PG-13.
Yes.
Not R, because we want some people to see it, but you want it to be like, there's a niche that we're not reaching, because we have for babies and we have for, like, adults Die Hard and Love Actually. And it's like, we need that middle ground of the kids who think they're too cool for all the baby movies, but they are not ready for the adult movies.
We need to Mcallister Splash Mountain this shit.
Yes.
Aha!
That was so nerdy. Disney nerds. Basically, that ride was marketed toward the teenagers because nobody marketed anything towards them at that time.
Yes, absolutely.
That's what this movie is.
I think that's perfect. That's all the ice breaking we can do today. If we break any more ice, we're going to absolutely give Hollywood too much to steal from us, and we can't give them any more of our ideas. If you'd like to send us a question, message us on Facebook or Instagram at Fess Up Podcast. Send us an email at fessuppodcast@gmail.com. Tweet a question at us at fessup_podcast. And don't forget to use the hashtag #UbFest. Send us new questions or let us know what happened when you used our icebreakers with your friends. Share our podcast with everyone you know and get the word out there about your 3 wacky friends.
Oh.
That's it for me. I've been Amy Fess, the Grinch.
I've been Marissa Fess, the elf.
And I've been Ina Fess, the Nutcracker.
Which, surprisingly, we did not bring the Nutcracker into this episode.
I just picked a thing.
That is fine. And don't forget, Kevin McCallister is your local John Kramer Jigsaw, and so if you're brought to the Gideon Meat Plant anytime soon, that's just Macaulay Culkin.
Watch out.
Watch out.